Professor Zhang Xianchun. So, Professor Zhang, please. So, Professor Zhang, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. And also, I forgot one thing. And Mr. Zhang will deliver her speech in Chinese. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zhang.
I think I speak in English. Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Yeah.
It's
Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank the conference committee for the great work. In 2020, everyone can deeply feel the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on tourism. At present, the global pandemic situation is still severe. There is still no hope for the recovery of international tourism in 2021. Today, I would like to share my viewpoints on the recovery of international tourism. Tourism plays an important role in the economic and social development of China and ASEAN. China and ASEAN have become important tourist source countries and destination for each other. Since the China-ASEAN Tourism Cooperation Year was held in 2017, tourism exchange between China and ASEAN have accelerated development. In 2019, the number of tourist exchange has exceeded 60 million for the first time. This table shows the number of international tourists received by China and ASEAN countries in 2019. It can be seen from the table. The international tourism of ASEAN play a very important role in their tourism industry. The pandemic has the greatest impact on the international tourism. The tourism industry of ASEAN countries also suffers serious demand. We generally believe the tourism has a strong resilience and can gradually recover after the disease pandemic. UNWTO predict it will take 2 to 4 years to recover to 2019 level. Generally, people agree on this opinion. The recovery of international tourism between China and ASEAN may be more optimistic than the predicted by UNWTO. In order to better promote the recovery of China-ASEAN international tourism, I think we should also pay attention to 3 changes. First, the dynamic and methods of international tourism cooperation will change. This is a tourism destination resilience module. It can be seen from this module. The destination tourism recovery is affected by many external and internal factors. There is an imbalance of development for different tourism regions. For example, in 2019, Thailand received 19.8 million international tourists, while Cambodia received on 6.61 million. And this imbalance may become more severe because of the pandemic. Regions with strong tourism resilience may develop faster after pandemic, while regions with weak tourism resilience may stop progressing or even step backward. Besides, international tourism cooperation will be constrained by this imbalance, and the dynamic and methods of cooperation will change. Secondly, uh, secondly, the economic sorry. Secondly, the economy of the tourism supply chain will change rapidly. At present, there are three main types of tourism supply chain. In recent years, tourism has speeded up its integration with other industries, and tourism plus has become the buzzword in China. Technology, technological innovation has changed the pattern and function of tourism infrastructure. Besides, pandemic prevention has become a normal state. This change will promote the development of new forms of tourism. The way and content of Chinese tourists to ASEAN will also change greatly. The ecology of the international tourism supply chain will change rapidly. Thirdly, the attitude of destination residents toward tourism may change. This is a dynamic model of residents' attitude of tourism impact. Residents in China and ASEAN may regions benefit from tourism development, with most holding positive view on it. Because of the pandemic, tourism suspends suddenly, and it has a serious challenge and the employment income of residents in tourist destinations. A large number of tourism human resources has been lost for students graduating jobs. Some parents and students also have lost confidence in their tourism career. Tourism colleges and universities are the most important intelligence resource in the tourism industry. They can not only train talents for the industry, but also provide forward-looking analysis and management service. They should, they should fulfill their mission and responsibility in the recovery of the international tourism. One point is to sort out and share the experience of tourism recovery, so as to boost the confidence of tourists and residents. China has carried out many effective practices in tourism recovery, and the recovery rate of domestic tourism has gone to over 70%. ASEAN countries can learn from China, especially in the cross-provincial tourism. Chinese Tourism University can collect and summarize those cases and share with the regions. It will help to find directions, opportunities, and the new ways of international tourism cooperation in the post-pandemic era. The second point is to carry out tourism training and participate in international tourism governance activities. Tourism universities have the advantage of intelligence service. It's their historic mission to help to increase the resilience of governments and enterprise, providing training service and technical assistance is the most effective action to increase resilience of tourism destination and enterprise, and is also an opportunity for tourism university to participate in international tourism governance. Point 3 is to reform the curriculums, strengthen the international interaction between teachers and students. As I mentioned before, the ecology of tourism will change greatly. Tourist need will also change. Those changes will influence the tourism education. Reform the curriculums, strengthen the interaction, maintain the attraction of tourism. As for the state trades mentioned above, GTU has taken some actions. Firstly, share the experience of education and teaching reform with overseas partners and convene industry trends and confidence. GTU should make use of the advantage and share teaching reform experience with overseas universities, and turn the enterprise need of addressing pandemic challenge into universities' responsibility action, and constantly communication Chinese achievement in fighting COVID-19 and the recovery level of tourism to overseas partners. Secondly, provide intelligence support to government and enterprise. From March to November, according to the pandemic impact on tourism, GTU held more than 40 training courses for government and enterprise. With more than 5,000 trainees, we have also set up different types of research teams and submitted more than 20 policy recommendations to government and provide business optimization and product innovation schedule for more than 10 enterprises. Thirdly, hold competition for Chinese and foreign students to stabilize the effect of online teaching. I know it can be frustrating sometimes that online teaching are not very stable, but it is a chance of education innovation. So we organize some competition to develop students' interest and academic performance through online series combining offline applications, as well as they deepen their understanding of dynamic change in tourism and pandemic, and to strengthen their career development. In China, regional selection competition of 2020 Global Undergraduate Interaction Day, Trade and Business Competition GTU International Students Team paper won the first prize. They will represent GTU in Singapore to participate in the global final in May 2021. In 2021, we proposed to strengthen CATEA's joint action plan to organize 3 actions to deal with the negative impact and win the future with innovation activities. The first activity is to organize an online conference on the interactive developer of tourism and education. The second is to organize an online conference of international curriculum to learn from each other. The third is organize a students' international competition. In addition, we will develop a cloud platform of China ASEAN tourism education community, which we can share the education resource of university together through cloud campus and cloud classroom. I sincerely hope that for activities will be supported by the Alliance and its members. And present, the global tourism industry is in a difficult recovery. Just now, I put forward to some viewpoints on the recovery of tourism in the post-pandemic area, and suggest that tourism colleges and universities should strengthen their responsibility actions. Finally, I introduced to some practice of Guilin Tourism University affected by the pandemic and the progress of science and technology. I suggest pay attention to 3 chains of international tourism cooperation: tourism supply chain and attitude of the resident to tourism. Tourism University and should take more action to strengthen international exchange and cooperation, so as to play a greater role in promoting the historic mission and of tourism recovery. Thank you very much.